Hi, Anne.
Hi, Esther.
Hi, it's lovely to see you.
Yeah, and you. I
Can you
know.
believe it? Wow, it's certainly been an interesting few weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone. Yeah, it's been good though, generally. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've had to learn a few new tricks and do a little bit of reading up on things and go a bit digital. But I was just really impressed with you, the way you've just got going straight away with your yoga meetings.
Yeah, I kind of thought, well, I'm just going to get on with it, and I just did it, and signed up to Zoom and got on with it. But yeah, you tell me how you're getting on first of all.
So, what I thought I needed to do was I spoke to my clients who'd got appointments in the diary, and the first thing that they all said was they were really upset about cancelling because quite a lot of my workshops, there's quite a few people involved. So, they were all looking forward to sort of seeing each other. And I suggested about taking the workshops online, which I kind of have done, but I've never done all the time. It's been for people who've either lived abroad or can't get to me in Ashbourne. And they were very much up for it. So we tried Facebook and House Party and what's the other one? FaceTime, tried lots of different things. But I think I'm going to go with Zoom. I think Zoom's the one that I've kind of like done the most with, really. Is that what you're using?
Yeah, so I'm using Zoom. It looked really intuitive to just set up, and I thought if I can do it, then it'd be time efficient, and so yeah, that's what I use.
And how have you found your clients signing up for it? Has it been quite easy?
Yeah, so I've got an online booking system anyway. Basically what I did was I just embedded the links from
Okay.
Zoom into my booking system, and then clients just use that to log
Click
in.
on and then go
No,
in.
not without its challenges, because people have to download a bit of Zoom, but I've got um, all sorts of clients, and I think there's only one or two that have really needed even a phone call to explain what to do. The
Wow,
rest have just taken to it.
you're really good. So what
Yeah.
if your yoga class started at 6 o'clock, would you like expect everybody to be there dead on 6 or
So I suppose what I do generally anyway is I'll open it 15 minutes or so beforehand,
right,
because
okay.
I guess what struck me at this time is that the lockdown came so quickly. And so
Yeah.
actually it was very much a kind of drop dead. And what's important about the yoga for some people is that they get to come and talk to people.
Yeah.
So in that 15 minutes, they just come and have a chat with one another, with me, and they just kind of settle in. And so, I've got kind of a little community really in both classes, and they value the opportunity to just come and have a chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do.
And I suppose it takes the weight off you then, doesn't it? Sort of welcoming everybody where you can sort of like, be there in the moment just before 6 or
Yeah.
what time are your classes
So
normally?
6:30 on a Wednesday and 9:45 on a Sunday morning. So
Right.
yeah, it's quite. But yeah, it just gives people the time to just come and have the chat. So yeah,
How did you get on with setting up your cameras and everything? Because I'm sure for yoga it must be a bit of a challenge.
I never thought I'd get so obsessed about lighting and camera angles. Um, so yeah, I mean, the bottom line with yoga, they've got to be able to see, almost the tip of your fingertips down to your feet. So actually, you've got to get it quite a long way away.
Yeah.
So I've kind of prop my computer up, and yeah, it's tricky, but we've done it.
Yeah.
So yeah, how about you? How are you getting on with yours?
Well, I kind of like, I suppose it's a lot easier because for me it's just like your face. What I had to do, the biggest things were obviously needed access to my products.
Yes.
Um, and then also the key thing is that I need, and I teach this when I do makeup anyway, and a lot of people put makeup on, if you've got one side of your face with the light on the side and the other side that's darker, then your makeup's going to probably look a little bit different.
Yeah.
So if you've got sort of like a bit of daylight on one side of your face and room light on the other, so you've got a little bit on your right next door to that little furry animal. Who's the furry animal?
This is Charlie McCoo.
We got a name. So you've just got, like, you can see where the room is, and you can tell, people probably will be able to tell which side the window is, so that's slightly lighter on that side. I always say to people, you know, make sure the light's straight ahead. If it's going to be something like about 6 o'clock in the evening, no, it's going to be later now, isn't it? When does it start to go dark now? Is it about 8 o'clock? Yeah, about 8 o'clock-ish. Yeah, so if it's about 8 o'clock, then we know that the light's going to change. So if she's got, obviously, or they have got daylight coming onto their face, and we've got a 2-hour lesson, then by the time the room's about to end, she's in darkness. So it's all about probably shutting the windows and actually saying, okay, we need to keep the same light all the way through. So although I'm facing the window in front of me over there, I've actually got, I'm very lucky, I've obviously got studio lighting, but I've actually got a studio light there. So throughout the day, whenever I sit in this chair, you'll actually see the same light. And I strongly recommend to anybody who's going to go online, whether it be FaceTime or with their family or anything like that. I think because we can't see each other now, I think it's really important that you think about how your face looks on camera, because that emotion, and, you know, even just being able to sort of see them smile is going to make a big difference. But I guess for you, it's more like about your body, where your body is. Yeah, and so I guess, one of my challenges is that obviously I have to draw the curtains or the blinds behind me. So and then, so I've strange things, you know, I use one of these seasonal lamps, you know, for people that have trouble with dark months of the year. So I use one of those to just kind of front light me, so that I kind of stay in a fairly consistent light. But it's, you know, I guess the thing about yoga, I've kind of said to people, is it's a yoga class, and I'm not, you know, it's not something that's kind of shot as a professional movie, you know, or a professional yoga class already downloading, you know, it's me in the front room in Sutton Coldfield doing yoga and teaching people yoga. And I guess that's, you know, for now, you know, that's enough. At the end of the day, this hopefully sometime soonish, this lockdown will be done, and we can get back to seeing one another in person. There's two things there I've just clocked. One is Sutton Coldfield. Yes. Those who know me, obviously living in Ashbourne, that Sutton Coldfield is actually where I still have a house. Exactly. And my tones are people probably clock where my tones are from. So I'm from Sutton Coldfield, down in the West Midlands, but I currently live in Ashbourne. But I guess what this video remote online's doing is that, for me personally, even clients in Sutton Coldfield or anywhere that's probably more than a half an hour trip to my studio or to where you were, it's kind of opened the world up to us, hasn't it? Have you had any inquiries from places? So I've had people that I worked with kind of 10, 12 years ago clock into my online yoga class, you know, because it's just like, how strange. So, you know, it's a small, the beauty about this is that, you know, you can have people wherever they are in England, wherever they are in the world, you know, clock on to your, for me, my yoga classes. So have you moved all of your workshops online then? I can't touch anybody now. So I've got, there's several scenarios. So I obviously teach professional makeup artists, and I also teach clients as well. So a lot of that stuff's had to sort of like be really, really reworded. The one thing, and a lot of that we've been able to continue to do in a different way, but the biggie that's probably been something that's a set date that I can't change is obviously weddings.
Of course.
Yeah, so from a wedding point of view, all of my what I can't remember what day it is today. What is it? Are we in March or April?
April, early part of April.
So I started to get phone calls about April's wedding, sort of not quite sure what was going on. And then all of my weddings now, March, April, May, June, have now all been moved on to the end of the year or the beginning of next year. So the scenario that I've got is, yes, I haven't lost business in respect of those brides, and thank God, touch wood, we've been able to move those clients on. The problem that I've had is they've now taken spaces, so I will have people ring me to say, are you free on the 17th of December or whatever, and I'm obviously now going to say no, I'm not. But a lot of wedding venues I know have kind of like opened up more dates. So quite traditionally it's like your Saturday, Sundays. So a lot of brides now are ringing me to tell me that they're having a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday wedding, which is not ideal, because you've then got scenarios where there's certain guests that won't be able to attend. But I guess it's kind of it's just a decision they have to make. I know all the suppliers in the industry are bending over backwards, because basically, I mean, I'm obviously trying to work with all sorts of people like photographers, hairdressers, and we're all trying to, between us, basically make sure that everyone's looked after. And keeping that, the key thing obviously normally is people have wedding trials. So it's probably hit that as much as anything, because obviously people are now thinking, but we've got round it, because what I've done is basically taken those online, and it's been very much a case of, like, we used a lot of photographs and stuff like that, and I've probably even included in the price sending them some products, so we can do some patch testing, because obviously one of the reasons you have a wedding trial is not just to see what colours you want, but it's obviously to ensure that your products feel nice on your skin. I'm very lucky to say, as you might know, because just remembered you have been to a makeup lesson of mine.
I was going to say, because I haven't even done that bit. So I've known Esther for a while, but I actually went for a makeup lesson probably 4, 5, maybe 6 months ago.
It took you 2 years to book it.
2 years to pull the finger out and do it. Yeah, but it was life changing. I always shied away from makeup. It was a dark art that I had no idea about. And then I went to Esther for a few hours, and it was liberating. So yeah, thank you. Beautiful experience, and I'm sure it's as great online, actually, because the beauty of makeup is you can get so close up to that little camera and show people. So
oh god, yeah, I mean, you can get from with the, do we call them virtual calls? They're not virtual calls, are they? They're just
online
calls online. Is actually what I get people to do is obviously set up their computer or their phone, and I always say, just put your mirror a bit higher, just behind it. So if here I'm obviously talking the camera, right behind there is the mirror. So as you lean forward to do your mascara or do your lip tint, I actually can see that person and they can see me.
Perfect.
It's particularly good for people who wear glasses normally and stuff like that, because it's obviously making that vision of me much bigger. And it's in the comfort of their own home. And I must admit, when you see people in their own home, it really does paint a picture of their personality. And I guess you must have the same as well.
Yeah, you do. It's kind of sweet, isn't it, to people that
what
the ice every week. Yeah, at home in their living room. So yeah, it's quite nice. But you get an insight into their life, their wider life. So
I was talking to a assistant head teacher, because I'm doing a whole sort of like talk about teenage makeup and preteen, and she's the assistant head of a very, very big school, and she was talking to me from her bedroom, and I then had to go and charge my phone, and my charging plug was next to my bed, and I thought, never in the world did I ever think we were both going to be sitting on the bed. So yeah, I think you have to embrace the whole thing.
Yeah, go with the flow. Strange times. So what sort of people, what sort of age groups and backgrounds do you get coming to your lessons? or your sessions online?
I would say that I think we all tend to appeal to the same age group of what we are. Now, I know you're going to say I don't look it, but I'm 50 this year.
Me too.
We do have one thing in common. We both,
Yeah.
I think we look pretty good. I would obviously say my core age group is probably around that. But I tend to touch on people where I've got like, moms will come to see me and then say to me, I wish I learned this when I was younger. So then I get like a 12, 10 years old, come and have a workshop. Then there's obviously the teenager daughter, which, you know, in teenage years, they tend to be thinking more about features than colours. Then brides tend to be about 30, 40. And then when you've got, or 20, 30, 40, and then when you've got your bride, you've always got the mother of the bride. And then there's always the grandma. And then I also do WI talks. So I have to say,
Wow.
it's kind of across everywhere. I've had loads of marketing people saying to me, what's your target audience? And I went, I haven't really got one, because they actually, I think makeup does sort of cover the whole thing. I remember when I was like 19 working in the cosmetics industry in the department stores, and I'd got 40-year-old women coming to see me, and I was like feeling like I was telling them what to do. But I really love being the age that I am at the moment, because I feel like I've been through it. I can feel my skin change, and I can feel my body changes, and I'm sure like what you get as well.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
these days, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I guess part of what we both do is we help people to accept the skin they're in, you know, and to you know, help with self-esteem and all of those things. So yeah, and I mean, I certainly felt on top of the world when I came out of my makeup lesson, and it kind of gives you a set of skills that you know, certainly I didn't grow up doing loads of makeup and stuff, so it's a set of skills that, you know, I didn't acquire when I was younger. So
the very
yeah,
first
lovely.
cosmetic product you brought?
Probably a lip gloss, I think, you know, a kind of classic 1980s rollerball.
Rollerball. Yeah. You see,
Classic.
you know you're the same age group of somebody when you know you used to get them on the counter, didn't they? There was mint and all sorts of different colours.
Yeah.
Red lid.
Yeah, perfect.
Rollerball.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, wow, times have changed, really.
For me as well, I suppose transgender as well is a big marketplace that I've really become quite established in now. I'm working with a really lovely client of mine called Becky, and she's really encouraged me to go along this route, and has given me access to quite a few things that I probably wouldn't have had access in. And I think one of the things that I've always tried to do, which is where I appeal to a certain type, is this really, really heavy makeup is kind of great if you want to go on the stage. But if you actually just want to blend into society, and if you just want to look confident and just highlight your features and what have you, that's where I've got a really strong following of people, regardless of their gender, creating like natural makeup look. Yeah. Big thing now is like, you know, a lot of people have got redness in their skin or patchiness, and it's our diets are so much better now. We haven't got the wrinkles that, you know, it always used to be anti-aging makeup, and I think we've kind of moved on from that.
Yeah. So how do you think your business is gonna, you know, what's the next month or so look like for you?
So I want to try and invest a bit of time in myself personally. So I've tried to think to myself, well, I'm going to take on board this whole digital learning thing. I've had people ask me to do online courses, which is like a paid membership subscriber thing. I've kind of pulled away from it over the years, because I've always been very keen on, come and have a cup of coffee with me, show me your makeup bag, let's sort it out. And obviously on the basis of that, I've created my own range of products. But for me personally, I thought doing this kind of like online learning was like really not where I wanted to go. But one of my clients said to me, do you know what, Esther, there's a massive like clientele out there who want it. They want to do it in their own time, in their own place. So I'm embracing it. and thinking to myself, well, let's continue. I'm very lucky to say my client base has topped over 8,000, which is something that I never did. And I just don't contact people. If you contact me, great, but you certainly don't get newsletters every month that says buy this, do this, or do the other. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should be reaching out a little bit more and touching some people that I probably haven't seen for a long time. So I think there's a big opportunity there.
Yeah, and that sounds great. And, you know, and doing that alongside looking after yourself a little bit, because this strange times, that sounds great. Yeah, it's a kind of unexpected opportunity, isn't it? This kind of enforced lockdown. So, yeah.
I think the thing that's probably going to get to you first, or has got to me, and I mean, we went for a walk the other day and my legs felt like concrete. I think it really hit me, and I think initially, I think maybe, I don't know, it was adrenaline or what have you kicked in, and you thought, okay, yeah, this is fine, we're going to be at home, we can do this, and we can sort the photograph album out, and we can do all of these things. And then all of a sudden it suddenly hits you, and you kind of like go, oh my God, I almost need to reinvent the wheel again with your business. And I think it's just trying to hold on in there and just trying to change a little bit, but not a lot. But we'll see. Are you gonna carry on doing video yoga classes?
Yeah, so I live stream. So I live stream my yoga classes on a Wednesday and Sunday. So yeah, my plan so far is to carry on. You know, I might offer the odd different sort of class depending on how my other work schedule goes. And I think for me it's really about kind of keeping in contact with my clients that I've got, and
that's the thing,
keeping the quality of the relationship with them, because you know, the thing about yoga is they learn from me, I learn from them, and so having them, you know, on the virtual mat twice a week is really lovely, and so I want to kind of keep that going.
I think we always do, whether it's a service or a product, we buy from people we like, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I would say once you've found that person that you're really comfortable with, I know certainly hairdressers get it, you know, when their hairdresser moves away or they move to a different salon and they don't know where they've gone, it's the client basically is really then having to go through that whole scenario of trying to find somebody that understands them and knows how to cut their hair and understands and talks the way that they do. So I think once we've got our clients, I think it's our duty to try and do as much as we can to keep them, and it's our duty, shall we say?
Yeah, and look after them. Yeah, you get that human contact, don't you? So I'd
love to maybe catch up in about 2 or 3 weeks and see how you go and see what you're doing.
Yeah, likewise, that'd be really lovely, actually. Yeah, it'd be great.
Well, it's been really nice talking to you. And maybe, I don't know, we might share this video to a few people and perhaps give people an idea of what it's like from our point of view of how we've changed, but also to say, like, we are open for business. My online shop and my products are still there. Your online booking system. So how do people get a hold of you then?
So my booking system is Real Yoga with Anne, and you can book online. So yeah, they just go onto my little booking system and book individual classes. So that's great. And so, you know, guys, if you're looking for a product, I can thoroughly recommend the number 2 oil, all right, that she sells.
How many people have said about me number 2? I'll get myself a nickname, number 2.
Yeah, it's a great.
And wherever you are in the world, I'll give you one. And wherever you are in the world, there's no excuse. There's a great yoga class going on by a lady called Anne with a fantastic personality. And what I love about Anne is the whole word of everything that you say, which is called real yoga. It is definitely, you know, you're not sort of standing on your head all day, are you?
No, there's none of that going on. Much as I don't, you know, I'm not really putting down people who do. It's part of people's practice, but it's not part of mine. And so, yeah, it's got to keep it real. Keeping it real, that's my motto.
That's it, keep it real. So I'll see you in a few weeks then.
All right then, darling, take care.
Bye.
Bye.